Sumo is usually sold as an ancient sport, serious and full of rituals, but the cameras don't lie. And when they turn on, they also capture the other side of the dohyo. Clumsy falls, flying referees, and unexpected moments outside the dohyo. On the SumoSpirit channel, we bring you the 25 funniest moments in sumo. Shokkiri is basically a theatrical comedy show where rikishi deliberately performs illegal moves like ridiculous holds, fake cheating, awkward grabs to both teach and entertain. Pure sumo slapstick, the kind of stuff that TV and touring audiences eat up like candy. Here we see two sumo putting on a show with moves so unusual you'd think they rehearsed with the Three Stooges. Looks like one of them got a little too excited. Maybe he mistook the dohyo for a dance floor. In 2007, Yokozuna Asashoryu skipped a tour claiming injury, only to be filmed happily playing soccer in Mongolia. His ball control? Think Rhino on roller skates. The Japan Sumo Association didn't laugh. They suspended him for lying. He got red-carded harder than in FIFA. Referees risk their lives in every bout. In this case, one trips and eats dirt mid-fight. Guess he was so focused on the wrestlers he forgot to watch his own feet. Somewhere, the slapstick gods were pleased. After an extra long match, the rikishi had enough. The moment he found an opening, he yeeted his rival out with such force the poor guy took forever to stand up. Lesson: don't test a sumo's patience.
Wow.
Look, a sumo on ice skates performing graceful figure skating moves. The crowd looks stunned, then breaks into applause. Honestly, seeing a 500-pound man twirl like a ballerina? That's worth a standing ovation and a hot cocoa. The WWE in sumo? In a shokkiri exhibition, a gyoji got dragged into the action after a rikishi swiped his sacred fan. Big mistake. The ref booted one rikishi out of the ring and scared off the other like a dad catching kids stealing cookies. During a tour, soccer player Leroy Sané uses two sumo wrestlers to prank a poor equipment manager. The look on the victim's face? Priceless. The laughter afterward? Even better. The whole thing turns a cultural exchange into a comedy sketch so perfect, it could have aired on candid camera. Yes, giant rikishi deal with daily struggles too, like fitting into a compact car. In this ad, two sumo attempts to squeeze into a Ford Focus parked tightly between two cars. Spoiler, it's less driving and more wrestling match with seatbelts. On Impractical Jokers, Joe Gatto was diapered up and tossed into the dohyo against Bayamba, the real deal Mongolian sumo. The outcome? Joe gets ragdolled like a chew toy, while his buddies laugh themselves to tears. Comedy physics at its finest. Terutsuyoshi turned the salt-throwing ritual into performance art. He chucks enough salt to season an entire McDonald's. Dramatic? Yes. Ridiculously fun? Absolutely. Somewhere Gordon Ramsay is clapping. There is salt for everyone. Here's a rookie rikishi showing off his best dance steps. Despite his XXL frame, the guy is surprisingly nimble, tossing out moves that would make John Travolta weep in polyester envy. He even pulls off a full split, proof that sometimes the donut really can do yoga. Think sumo guys are just big teddy bears? MMA fighters Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson and Cub Swanson put that myth to the test, double teaming a rikishi who treats their effort like two toddlers pushing against a refrigerator. Spoiler, fridge wins. During a Nike promo tour in Japan back in 1996, Musashimaru, Akebono, and Konishiki squared off in a 3-on-3 basketball game against NBA legends Charles Barkley, Jason Kidd, and Michael Finley, with Michael Jordan himself as referee. It was less game and more Godzilla meets Space Jam, but everyone had fun. Just look at this triple of Akebono. Takami Sakari wasn't just a sumo wrestler, he was a full-blown entertainer. Before each match, he would psych himself up with the most over-the-top rituals. Robotic arm pumps, cartoonish grimaces, and theatrical poses that made the crowd howl. While other rikishi prepared in stoic silence, Takamisakari treated the dohyo like his personal stage. Kids adored him, fans cheered his antics, and sometimes people remembered his clownish warm-ups more than his actual bouts. In the nakizumo ceremony, hulking rikishi hold up fancy-dressed babies and make faces or noises until the poor infants cry. The result? A bizarre mashup of tenderness and comedy gold. Stone-faced sumo warriors trying their hardest to spook tiny humans who probably just want a nap. It's like a horror movie directed by Sesame Street. If sumo wrestling had a blooper reel, it would look exactly like a shokkiri performance. These special exhibitions let rikishi deliberately break the sacred rules. Not to disrespect tradition, but to show off sumo's funny side. You'll see ridiculous ring entrances, wrestlers throwing absurd amounts of salt as if seasoning a giant pot of stew, and fake fights with exaggerated slaps and pratfalls straight out of a comedy sketch. Winning doesn't matter here, it's all about making the crowd roar with laughter. Think of it as the Harlem Globetrotters of sumo, but instead of basketball tricks, you get diapered giants clowning around in the dohyo. 3 massive rikishi line up for a 50-foot dash. At the start, the smallest one takes the lead, but within seconds, one of his tank-like pals catches up. When they finally hit the finish line, the biggest guy suffers a wardrobe malfunction, his poor mawashi slips, flashing his royal buns to the world. Talk about crossing the finish line with style. For a photo shoot at Dance Live 2013 Japan Final in Ryogoku Kokugikan, Hawaiian legends Konishiki and Musashimaru strike poses like street dance icons, breakdance hands, invisible beats, and mountain-sized swagger. Step aside, Backstreet Boys. Where do you think Chiyonokuni is going? One moment he's charging forward, the next he looks like he's sprinting for the nearest exit. Takanoyama pulls off such a slick henka that poor Chiyonokuni doesn't just stumble, he practically takes flight, arms flailing like he's late for a flight out of Narita. On ESPN's Sports Science, Kevin Love battled Rikishi Americas Abesamis for a rebound. Love tried muscling through, but pushing Abesamis was like shoving a mountain in flip-flops. The footage of Abesamis's body, wobbling like jello, is strangely mesmerizing. Camila Cabello in sumo? Oh yes, she jumped right in wearing a giant inflatable suit, and the moment the match began, chaos followed. Picture her bouncing around the dohyo like a beach ball, arms flapping while she tries to push her opponent with zero balance. Every stumble turned into a cartoonish wobble, and the crowd couldn't stop laughing. On Kevin Hart's What the Fit, Conan and Kevin suited up for sumo practice. Picture a tall, pale talk show host and a tiny comedian facing sumo titans. The result? Pure chaos, like Lilo, Stitch versus Jabba the Hutt. Future careers in sumo? Doubtful. Future laughs? Guaranteed. A tennis player in sumo? Believe it or not, the great Novak Djokovic once tried his hand at it in Tokyo. He visited a sumo stable and instantly turned the dohyo into a comedy show. Imagine the world's top tennis champ bowing to the rikishi, shuffling his feet and trying to grapple like a pro. Check out this hilarious shokkiri. One wrestler pretends to spit right at his opponent, and before you can even process that, he whacks him with a stick like it's slapstick sumo. The crowd roars, the wrestlers ham it up, and suddenly the sacred dohyo feels more like a comedy stage than a battlefield. At the Aki Basho in 2005, Asashoryu shockingly lost his opening match as Yokozuna against rising newbie Futene. The stunned crowd rained zabuton cushions like ninja frisbees. Asashoryu's face? Let's just say he wasn't in the mood for a pillow fight. So next time you think about sumo, don't just stick with the Clash of Titans or the ancestral rituals. Keep an eye on the referees, on the unexpected slips, and on what happens outside the dohyo, because that's where the funniest gems are hidden. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the SumoSpirit channel for more content. See you in the next video.